Oh, what a good one there from Jordan. Jed, how's it looking this morning?
Okay, so winds have really come down after being so gusty yesterday. Yesterday was one of those truly door-ding type alert days, trash can alert day too, because those winds were howling even here in the central part of the state. Check out some of these top wind gusts we had over the last 24 hours. Guyman, close to 80-mile-per-hour gusts. It was enough to rip some roofs off some buildings in parts of the county there where Guyman's at. Hooker 75, Eva 72, Cheyenne out along the Oklahoma-Texas Panhandle border in Roger Mills County 61, Eric in Beckham County 61. Oklahoma City did have a gust peak at 60 miles per hour. Hollis, Butler, Fort Cobb, all having some upper 50s, close to severe wind gusts yesterday as well. These weren't severe storms. These were just environmental winds that were absolutely howling yesterday. So we're talking about those blustery conditions. That's what you're talking about right there. Damaging winds and power disruptions were the story from yesterday. Watching our next storm as that storm that brought all the wind is now shifting away from us. It's now over in parts of the Midwest and in the deep South, all pushing away. Our winds are much lighter here out the door this morning. Next storm is on the way. Winter storm with this one. Winter advisories from the Rockies up into the Central Plains. Does include the Oklahoma Panhandle, where we have winter storm warning in effect coming up for today into this evening, as there could be some areas that pick up some heavy snow there. 45 here in Oklahoma City. Northeast winds at 8. Wind chill at 41. Just kind of a dusty, kind of a dreary look to the shot there. You can see all that dust on the horizon there. So you'll notice that out the door this morning. It's not reducing visibilities, but you'll see it's kind of a milky kind of cloudiness over the metro. Almost looks kind of like a fog, but it's dust here out the door this morning. So we'll start about 41, 8 o'clock, 48 at 10, 57 by noon today as we climb it up into the low to middle 60s here coming up for today. Temperatures range 30s, 40s over the majority of the state, and with that cold start this morning, we will see a chance of that snow as it develops out in the Panhandle going into the morning hours. So Guyman expecting to go from 78-mile-per-hour wind gusts yesterday to a severe storm, or make that a winter storm here coming up for today. Only 30 for a high out in the Panhandle. Again, cooler across the northern part of the state. This boundary right here, this is a warm front. These lift northward slowly. So if this stays below Oklahoma City, we'll be 63. But if it does have a chance to move north of us, we could be close to 70. That's kind of the range in temperatures. Stillwater 55, Ada 71, 73 in Ardmore. So kind of a pretty good change in temperatures. We see that, and when we see that, there's a lot of action typically in the state. We're going to see that with the winter storm going on in the Panhandle. Snow begins to push into the far northwest part of the state this afternoon. They will track storms. Those develop down here in southern Oklahoma. They'll begin there, and those will blossom up and shift across east Oklahoma. Quarter-size hail, gusts to 65. And there is a low tornado threat, so let's talk about that. Let's look at future rotating storms. Here's a look at 4 o'clock. And you can see the storms expected to develop down there, but they really start to get rotating as we go into the evening hours. Watch these areas down here in southeast Oklahoma from south of McAllister, south of Ada. These are where we're expecting rotator storms. We have rotating storms. That's where you get a chance for a tornado. So we'll monitor that threat down here from Ada, Henrietta, south and east. There's where the greatest threat will be, but Holdenville, Seminole, we'll watch that for you. Right now, the greater threat is in the southeast part of the state this evening. As those rain and storms continue to develop, they'll shift on through. Snow in the northwest part of the state may push down into the central parts with a little patch to some light snow or flurries. That'll come to an end overnight tonight. And they're expected to see some snow totals in the north and northwest part of the state. Just a dusting across much of the northwest. You go out toward the Panhandle, 3 to 6, maybe as much as 8 out in the far western parts. Now, if that happens, that is fantastic news. Those areas are bone dry, so you get a good heaping of snow on top of that trickles on down. That's exactly what they need. So hopefully they get a lot of snow out there. They certainly need it. 30s, 40s for highs tomorrow afternoon. Just a colder day as we head into your Thursday, but we start to nose it back up. Look for those temps to start shooting their way back up to the 40s. 50s will close in on 70 going toward the weekend. A little cooler for President's Day, 52, maybe near 70 again toward the end of next week as another storm approaches.